So a couple of months ago, I put together this BCM kind of M4 clone project. Here I just have the upper. I finally got around to getting a high quality carry handle for it. That carry handle that you see there is also from BCM, and yeah, it was not cheap. It was about $100, but I told myself that this rifle would kind of be my go-to rifle, and I'm trying to keep it relatively high quality while not spending too much. So I've got the iron sights on there. There's your traditional AR M16 M4 iron sight sight picture. Got the rear peep sight with that front post, and it works really well. But I kind of decided early on that I would like to get some kind of nice non-magnified optics for this thing. So recently I just decided to go ahead and get myself my first really good non-magnified sight. I've bought a couple of the cheap Chinese $40, $50 reflex sights before, and they're not that great. As you can see, this is made in the US by L3 Communications. This particular one was made very recently. It was inspected in the beginning of March of this year, and let's go ahead and see what it looks like. Now, this thing comes in a case that's a lot nicer than some of the handguns that I've purchased recently that just come in a cardboard box. A very nice little case that it comes in. Let's go ahead and flip it open. Of course, you've got your instruction manual. This is the 512, of course. This is the kind of like the base model, but I'm going to open it up here in just a second. There's some instructions for sighting it in and installing it. I went with the 512 because, first of all, I wanted something that was high quality, which EOTech is, but I didn't want to spend too much because honestly I don't get to go to the rifle range as much as I used to. So that's the 512. It is rather large. What I like about it is that it takes AA batteries, and you can see there that they include some nice Energizer industrial batteries. You've got two different mounting options, the little torque screw that you can use, or that thumb screw, which I decided to mount it with. There's that Energizer industrial. I'm going to hold on to those for a while, and I just have regular Duracell batteries in this EOTech. But I like the fact that AA batteries are cheap and very easy to find. Of course, the drawback is to make room for those AA batteries. You know, it's got to be pretty big, and this is I believe this is the largest EOTech out there. Of course, you've got your windage and elevation adjustments. I believe each turn is a half MOA. I'll double check that. If I'm wrong, I'll annotate it for you. Law enforcement, military use, but as you can see here, clearly it's available to civilians like me. The controls are on the back, as you saw, which may be a little difficult to access if you've got a magnifier there. And you can see that this one was made very recently, just over 2 months old as of the time of this video. I purchased this on eBay. I was thinking of buying it on Primary Arms as a package deal because you can get a free Primary Arms magnifier, but I decided to just save the money and get the sight itself. Now you've got an up and down switch. Either one will turn the reticle on. If you push the down switch, it'll turn off after 4 hours. If you push the up switch to turn on the sight, then it turns off after 8 hours. And to turn it off, of course, you push both of them at the same time. The reticle is not really that fuzzy. It just doesn't come out that well on camera, but it's actually pretty sharp. And of course you can change the intensity, the brightness, by just pushing up or down. The glass is very clear. It's almost like not looking through glass at all. So yeah, so the drawback is the size, but the benefit is that the batteries are cheap and very available. So let's go ahead and get this thing mounted up, and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, there it is. Now that's just mounted directly onto the flat top using the thumb screw. And usually what you want to do with these is put them as far forward as you can. There's not a whole lot of real estate up there, so that's another drawback. This can easily be circumvented by buying a smaller model, but then of course the price goes up noticeably, and you don't have the convenience of AA batteries. So here I've put it as far forward as I can. Now if you try to move it even more, then you bump up against the handguard, and it's not really, I suppose you could clamp it down, but it's not really stable, and it may not be lined up perfectly with the axis of the bore. So what I decided to do was also purchase this riser that's made exclusively to use with EOTech products. Bought it from Brownells, got it within two days. Great service. And this is, it's bagged as a Brownells, it looks like a Brownells product, but it's actually made by Yankee Hill Manufacturing. And this thing gives you just that little bit of extra height that you need to clear the handguard, and more importantly, push that EOTech further forward so you have nice eye relief, and you can put something like a backup iron sight behind it. Here you can see how it co-witnesses. This is without the riser. This is just, I believe this is without the riser. Yeah, now we're going to go ahead and put the riser on, and I'll show you what it looks like. Here the riser's right up against the handguard, but notice how much further forward I can put the EOTech. And it opens up a little bit of rail space, an extra slot or two, but which might be all I need to put my backup iron sight on there. Not really thinking I'm going to put a magnifier on this rifle, because I don't intend to use it at those distances, but who knows, I might change my mind. Now here you can see with the riser, the front sight is still visible, but it's not interfering as much, and it's totally up to you. You may like having it lower like that. I personally like this. Also, the nice thing is that you don't have to kind of gives you a much more comfortable cheek weld when you have that riser on there. So anyways, that's kind of a look at what the rifle looks like with the lower attached. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. That's with the Yankee Hill riser. I think it's about $40 for that riser, not too bad. And I'm really liking the look of this. It still looks clean, it still looks pretty simple. I'm trying to preserve the original M4 look, but it's nice to have a high quality optic on there like this EOTech. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.